Hi, my name is Pragyan Karki and I am here to share an overview on my project, which is a digital implementation of classic game that is tic-tac-toe, and how I developed it using Agile methodologies and DevOps tool. Let's talk about a project overview. The tic-tac-toe game is simply a two-player game played on 3x3 grid, and where players take turns marking empty spaces with X's or O's. The goal is to be first to align three marks in a row, and whoever does that wins the game, like either horizontally or vertically or diagonally. Though the game is simple on the surface, developing it gave me the opportunity to apply key software engineering concepts, particularly iterative developments, version control, testing, and collaboration tools of DevOps tools and Agile approaches. So, this project was developed using Agile Approach, uh, which allowed me to divide the work into manageable increments and adapt to feedback quickly. I structured the development process into uh, three sprints, each lasting. I think first sprint lasted for 2 weeks, second for 1 week, and third lasted for 5 days. I took on multiple roles, but I structured the work as though there were a Scrum team, including a product owner, Scrum master, and development team. For for product owner requirements, I simply set core requirements such as fully functional 3x3 game board, clear win loss or draw attention, a user friendly interface, option to restart the game, and support for both two player mode and single player mode with basic AI. So throughout the sprints, these requirements evolved slightly based on testing results and user feedback. Um, for a sprint breakdown, let me walk you through the sprint highlight of each sprint. Uh, back, for sprint one, I built the basic UI game and game board, basic UI and the game board. Like this is the basic UI game board, and I implemented turn taking logic and game state management. The sprint one was mainly focused on the main functionality, allowing users to place X and O's and alternating turns. Basic input validations to prevent overwriting moves were also done in this sprint. So after this part, moving to sprint 2, I added win and loss detection. Designed a basic AI for single player mode also, where user can play with computer if he or she is alone, and begin integrating unit tests to validate logic for win conditions. And in third sprint, I styled the game using CSS for cleaner interface, added message display for game results, but the message only shows the winner name, uh, and here you can see this is the leaderboard mm, that shows the win and loss and also the draws. So this is the sprint 3. So let's walk through the coding. So if I just play this, and it shows the box, a UI box, where I have to give a name for player 1. Let's say it's uh, ABC for player 1, and for 2 it's EFG, then play game. So it shows the UI box, and this is the game board, and all the spaces are empty. So here it shows two different name in two different colors. mm, that indicates there are two players playing different, taking different turns. So if I click on here, the player 1 is using X, and if I it's the turn of player 2, and if I click here for O, it won't allow me to use this box since this is already used. So this was validated during the sprint 2, so I have to use other empty boxes such as this. So just put it randomly. So X wins, so ABC, it shows the alert box showing that ABC wins. So this is the validated game board. And if I want to restart the game, I can simply go here and restart it. And if I don't want to play now, I can simply go to home button, and this is just two player mode. If I want to play with a computer, then it shows like this. So I'm using the X as a player, and computer is using the O. So if I simply do this, so it shows the computer wins. So if I want to see the stat of previous games that I played with other players or computers, I can simply go to the view stats, and it shows all the games that I played, that players played, users played. And this is simply the part of um, so after this I also worked with the DevOps tools in the workflow. uh, to support this agile workflow, I integrated several DevOps tools like GitHub projects and CI pipeline with GitHub Actions. But I simply pushed my code in GitHub, so that in future if any changes were to be made, I can simply go to the GitHub link and to my repository, and I can simply change there. So uh, it won't hinder my real code, and I can always track the code, always track the changes, since it shows the time and hour. So according to the agile practices, what I've learned is that I need to follow Scrum. I need to follow different agile approaches and methodologies to work with the group. But this time, unfortunately, I was alone. So I still followed the rule of agile, so that in future I'll be able to work with teams. And in the process, I followed a Scrum based approach, which included daily stand ups, sprint planning meetings, sprint reviews, and retrospectives. For the final thoughts, this project was more than just a game, it was an exercise in applying real world software engineering practices. From planning and version control to testing and bug fixing, I got deep hands on experience on what it means to build and maintain a software product using Agile and DevOps principle. So to simply summarize, I completed 3 structured sprints using GitHub for CI and version controls. I applied Scrum methodologies for planning and feedback, managed and fixed bugs through continuous testing and iteration. So in future iterations, I plan to add difficulty levels for the AI and improve the overall UX based on feedback. So thank you for listening me.